Okay, the facets for introverted. Okay, the facets for introverted sensing are paying attention to what is reliable. The facets for introverted. The facets for introverted sensing SI. Look, no, the facets for introverted sensing, also known as SI, is to pay attention to what is reliable. Okay. The facets for. Oh, we're rolling. Okay. Hold on. I wasn't ready. All right. Why do I always stand in awkward positions? Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. I'm ready. Yeah. I've practiced this like 70 times. I think I got this right. But maybe I should have got me a teleprompter. Hey! No. Hey. 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 Dang it. Why can't I remember the way that I practice it? Hey. My name is Introverted Sensing, also known as SI. And today, I'm going to talk to you about all of my facets and ways that I can show up and just introduce myself to you guys so that you can know me a lot better. Now let's begin. So, as I said, my name is Introverted Sensing and my nickname is SI. Now, a lot of people might see me as very boring, very redundant, very dry. As a matter of fact, there's a chance that this video might be the one that gets the least views out of all 8 of the functions. I don't really understand why that's the case. I'm fun. I mean, come on now. Who doesn't like to look at the details of things? Without details, then we wouldn't know a lot of the things that we know. I think it's also important to recognize that I, as a function, actually am the glue that holds a lot of our society together in many ways. I mean, after all, when you go to a library, then that Dewey Decimal System is a lot of SI involved. And then all of the history that you know of, that's all SI. Without me, you wouldn't be able to replicate a lot of the recipes that you know, and even any types of formulas that you might be using in science. I am the reason why we are able to replicate and duplicate so many things. And I know that a lot of people might again see me as very pointless, especially because I make up probably over 70% of the population. But there's a reason for that. Without me, there would really not be a strong infrastructure. I believe that I am really the foundation behind so many of the things that we see in our everyday lives, but we just look over. I mean, when we think about it, how would our mail get around? You know, if we never really looked to the past, how would we really understand our future? When things get innovative, I'm what cements it together. You know, if nobody really had SI to be able to understand the process and replicate the process of when the Wright brothers made the planes, then how would they have been able to make that plane again? You have to record these things, which is a lot of times where NE, my Siamese twin, might get things mixed up. You know, extroverted intuition. So NE is really all about being innovative and finding new ways to do things, and that can be very scary. Extroverted intuition will talk to you about himself when he gets the chance. But for right now, we're going to focus on what I bring to the table. And speaking of bring to the table, let's get to my function facets. So, my function facets as introverted sensing SI is paying attention to what is reliable, being detail focused, keeping track of physical changes, archiving and cataloging, understanding oneself based on one's own experiences and impressions, tendency to appreciate and preserve tradition, being perfectionistic with repetition of what has always worked, focus on personal impressions, and awareness of physical sensations within the body are often said to be heightened. I also like to keep things very evergreen. I am the function that pretty much watches things be done over and over and over and over and over. How many overs did I say that I was going to do again? And over again until we're able to do it over again. So once I see that something has been done over again, then I'm tracking how reliable that thing is to be able to continue to do the thing over and over again. See, for me, as introverted sensing, I really like what's safe, what's reliable, what has been tried and true and tested. So whenever you want something that you know is going to work, that you're almost certain is going to work, then you have to refer to me because I have the data. I have all of the records of, yep, this has worked the past 70 times that we've done it, the past 1,000 times that we've done it, the past 1,000,000 times that we've done it. And so it's most likely going to work again. And that's where tradition comes in too. Because if last year, you baked cookies and you made the cookies a specific way and we reserved the recipe, and then when you baked the cookies for the Christmas party and it was very successful and everybody loved the cookies, well, why not do the cookies again the next year? And before you know it, if you do the cookies again the same time, the same way every year, you have a tradition. You have a surefire, reliable way to be able to have everybody who comes to your Christmas parties to enjoy those cookies that you make. Now, extroverted intuition would want you to try to change that. I always tell him no. Well, it depends on where I am in the stack. But usually, it's kind of hard for me to get to those changes because, after all, it's change. And I'm not really a big fan of change until I've seen that change works. And so I am the function that's really focused on passing down certain ways of thinking, passing down certain processes that have always worked, passing down the things that are going to most be effective. This is why I work very well with TE and with FE a lot of times, because when I'm with STJs, for example, the STJs usually know the proper way, not only proper way, but also the most reliable way to be able to get something done. And then the SFJs, they usually know the common trends that a specific individual or person, or even just a society, really wants. And what we mean by that is, I'm keeping track of okay, Johnny really loves having this amount of green beans on his plate, but then doesn't like when they touch the eggs. And then Susie likes to have this amount of green beans, and she doesn't like eggs, but she does like having beans. And all of these very minute and specific details, being able to do that, when you add it with FE, then you have a pretty great host. And then also when you bring that into society, now you're able to have these pre-established rules, and this is where a lot of people can get very irritated, but these rules are here to protect you. It's here to continue to establish order. And this goes with both STJs and SFJs. When we think about table manners, when we think about politeness and all of that stuff, that's ways in which we can use our tradition, this tradition of, being polite in table manners and everything, to actually interact with each other more appropriately, to be able to give good service at a restaurant and, have things be more effective. These things are all very good. I also have a tendency to, again, really try to burn things into my mind until they become perfect. And so what I mean by that is that I will be the type to try a dance move over and over and over and over again until it's perfected. SE, my cousin that you will meet soon, usually gets it on around the first, second, or third try. And then if sometimes if SE does not get it on the first or second try, SE doesn't even want to try it anymore. But for me, I'm kind of the opposite. I almost already know that I'm not going to be able to just get it on the first try, so I have to try it again and again and again. That muscle memory is where I come into play. When you're playing the keyboard and then you have to like play it a certain way and then you have to play it again so that it locks into your muscle memory. That's me, guys. I am really helpful. I am really helpful. And I'm not boring. I'm sure that, there's a lot of people who might overuse me to explain all of the details about their day. I'm usually associated with like small talk, like, oh, nice weather that we're having and stuff like that. But guys, when you really are interested in a topic, then I'm really helpful to be able to give you all of the details that maybe NI might miss. SE might even miss. I think that people also tend to forget that I'm paired with one of the most fun functions out of all 8, extroverted intuition. And when we come together, then usually extroverted intuition has to always refer to me in order to even be as fun as it is. Because if you're not looking at me, if you're not referring to me, then how are you going to be innovative? You have to have some sort of template to work with, right? Right? The reason why I'm usually associated with memory is because of my attention to detail. Now, that doesn't always mean that I remember every single thing that happens to me, but usually people who have me in their stack, when they are having a memory, when they're replaying a memory, then they can have a lot of nostalgia, and it can almost be as if they are reliving the experience. This is something that a lot of SE and I users don't actually experience. They're very in the moment, and so when they're in the moment, then they're experiencing all of the visceralness of it and everything. And once the moment is gone, if they do try to remember, they might have a foggy memory because, I am still in their shadow. But it's not going to be as detailed. It's not going to be as rich because they had the rich experience in the moment. So for people who have me up higher in their stack, then they tend to have maybe not as great of a time in the moment. Maybe they might not really be taking in all of the visceral details at that moment and experiencing it. But usually in hindsight, when they look back and they relive that memory, that's when it hits them the most. That's when they start to have like a lot of nostalgic feelings. And that's the feeling that I usually bring to people. I bring nostalgia. And a lot of people might find it depressing, but a lot of people also find it comforting. I'm also the function when it comes to comfort. I am the one who allows for everyone to come back to a place that's familiar, to a place that's safe, to a place that's stable, to a place that is secure. And that's comfortability. Now, extroverted intuition, my twin, doesn't really like comfort. Extroverted intuition really likes to just jump out and do any other type of thing, that might be uncomfortable, that might be having no idea what's going to happen, that's going to be completely unpredictable. But I don't really like things that are unpredictable. And I guess that's what makes people feel like I'm so boring. Sure, maybe I'm not a thrill seeker like extroverted sensing. Maybe I'm not really looking so much for novelty like extroverted intuition is. And maybe I'm not looking at the deeper meaning of something like introverted intuition is. But guys, understand that nostalgia is its own beauty. Understand that having a process to be able to replicate, to be able to bring forth something that you would like to continue to keep in your own life. That's something that's worth cherishing too. Understand that comfort in and of itself is something beautiful to behold, because when you are comfortable, you have the security to be able to actually then have more grand ideas. When you're comfortable, that's home. Sure, we can go outside and play and everything like that, but how many of us like the feeling of just coming back home, where everything is familiar, where you know where everything is at? That's comfort. That's me. So guys, next time you think about seeing me as boring or, just even like unoriginal or just a snooze fest. Remember that I do still bring a lot of things to the table. So you're surrounded by me. And sure, that might seem like, oh yeah, you're dominating my life. But try, especially those of you who are intuitives, use that intuitive function of yours to try to imagine a life without me. Imagine a life where you do not record anything that you've done. You just made the best recipe ever, but now you have no idea how to replicate it ever again. You just made a great invention, but now you don't have any idea how to replicate that. You have no idea. Every single day that you wake up, all of the things in your home are in a totally different place. You know, where your keys were at, where you usually put your keys, now that's gone. Every time that you try to play the keyboard or whatever, then you have to remember how to play the scales again. You have to teach yourself, you have to reteach yourself those scales. Guys, I am important. Please don't neglect me. And I'm in a lot of great people, a lot of great artists even. You know, maybe you might see me as like not creative, but actually, once again, I'm still tapped in with my counterpart, extroverted intuition. So when we look at these great stars who were actually pretty innovative, like Beyonce, who is an ISTJ, believe it or not, and even Drake, who is an ESFJ, you know, I am really helpful in all of these people. Look at Mr. Rogers, who is an ISFJ. I think that people really need to understand that at the end of the day, I play a big factor in our society. And boring or not, I am important. And I deserve respect. So, I think that's about everything for right now. I hope that you guys have a better understanding of who I am. And I will see you all at the Q&A. If you have any questions or any comments, anything that you feel like I've missed, please drop them in the comment section below. And please also don't forget to check out denzelmensah.com. That's denzelmensah.com, where you'll be able to find all of Denzel's services, and Denzel will be able to help you to identify if you have me in your stack, and also to be able to help you to become more aware of me as a function and to develop me as a function, or to understand other people who might have me as a function. So, with all of that said, thanks again for watching, and please don't forget that you matter. I matter too, but you matter. Done. Thank you for taking the time to watch that video, and if you enjoyed that, please like and subscribe. It actually really helps out my channel a lot, so that more people who actually care about what I want to say can actually find me a lot more easier. Also, if you did enjoy it, then maybe you'll enjoy a lot of my other content as well, so be sure to check out some of my playlists where you'll be able to find a lot of my older videos and older content. And last but not least, if you would like any profiling sessions or coaching sessions, be sure to check out denzelmensah.com, where you'll be able to book me and you'll see the rest of my services. But thanks again, and have a great day.